Me good?
Yeah.
I can be good? All right. So I'll put this down there real fast. So thank Dr. Allens and the admin team for allowing me to be here. And I'm really not going to be long because I know what it feels like to sit in these seats and be ready to go. And real huge shout out to the special department. That's where I was for a very long time. PE department, healthy PE, man. So real huge shout out. I know. But no, seriously, man, really glad to be here. I have the opportunity throughout the months, weeks, years to speak to students, middle, high school, and college students all over. I'm a native of Atlanta. Grew up in DeKalb County and Decatur, Georgia. To be specific, no, nobody from the okay, by myself, but it's cool. All right, over there. All right. So I did M to M. I was at Southwest Cabinet and did M to M. Graduated from Dunwoody High School. Yep. Yes, indeed. So listen. Being here, Dr. Allens kind of told me, what the theme was, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm from a family of educators. Both of my parents were administrators. They eventually ended up starting their own private school in the city of Atlanta, and so I spent my whole life really being centered around how do we really empower young people. That was the household that I grew up in. And it wasn't just a specific group of students that, my parents were really bent on empowering. It was young people totally. And so when he was telling me about the theme for this year and really what the message was going to be to you guys about going from good to great, and just a real quick plug, please do read that book. My wife and I both read that book, and I promise you personally, it's going to drive you to a different place. And so here's what I really thought about understanding from being good to great. It's first being able to recognize our individual greatness. I don't know if y'all heard me, but being able to recognize your individual greatness, it's a hard task. It can be a very hard task. And so as educators, here becomes the tough part, is understanding why I'm even here. Why am I even here? How did I even get here? And so here's what I thought about. I really started to think, okay, how do we choose to become an educator? What is it that makes us to walk into a building like this? And so I ended up doing some research. I'm the type of guy, I like to research things and look things up to find out facts. And so what I ended up finding out is that there are over 12,000 different careers that somebody could choose from. 12,000. Very, very large number. And then what I also found out was, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that there are 867 occupational categories that those careers fall under. And so I'm like, man, that's a lot. I don't know if y'all knew that. I didn't know that it was that large of a number. And so I really said to myself, man, how does somebody choose? How do you choose? And all of us in here, we could all come up with different reasons, different trains of thought, different ways in which I came up with this idea on why I was going to be here. And so really 4 things kind of sat with me, all right? And so here real quick, the first one that we can all agree on is money, right? Money is a powerful driving factor for a lot of people. It's a driving factor for a lot of people. The other one is location, right? Location can become a huge driving factor. And then the third one can be convenience, right? And not convenience in the sense of location and area, but convenience for my lifestyle. Convenience, like, how does this fit in for my family? Does this really work for the time that I have? And then there's the fourth one, y'all. The fourth one is the one, right? It's the one. And I'm going to tell you, when I thought about this fourth one, I was like, okay, this is the one that really separates people in their career path. This is the one that makes somebody special in what they do. And that fourth one means you are chosen. You're chosen. You're chosen for it. And some people might phrase it, you're called to it. And you might hear that a lot of times, man, you were called to do this, man. You were chosen to do this. And here's what I believe about everybody that's sitting in this room right here, is you didn't choose this. You were chosen. You were chosen to sit in these seats. And here's what I want us to really understand is that there's a difference between the first three and the last one. There's a difference between the money, location, and the convenience versus being chosen. Because here's the power in the last one is, without the last one being the deciding factor, the first three can change and you'll change. You'll change. Right? If the money isn't right, I'll find something else. If the location isn't really working out for me, I'll get somewhere closer. And if this isn't convenient for my lifestyle, I got to do something else. But there's something about being chosen and called, Dr. Allen. It's something about being chosen and called to do something, because here's the power in it. Because those three things can change, and when you're chosen and called to something, it will not have the ability to change who you are and what you've been called to do. It won't have the ability to do it. It won't have the ability. Money can play a part, and you'll still say, I'm called to be here. I'm chosen to be here. And so here's what we understand about a day like today. Here's what we understand about it. Is that there are a lot of people that are walking into a building like this. They're sitting in these seats. They're coming in a planning meeting, getting ready for the school year. And here's what we know about most of those individuals. Majority of those individuals didn't choose to walk through these doors because of money or convenience. Those two things really weren't high up on the priority list. And as a matter of fact, for most of y'all in here, the location is great. And then for everybody else, it's a stretch every single day. It's a stretch every day. And so here's what we have to understand is that we can always tell. You can always tell when somebody is doing something that they were chosen for. You can tell when somebody's doing something that they were called to do. You can tell when somebody's doing something because of the money. You can tell when somebody's doing something because it's convenient for them. Because when somebody's doing something because they were chosen and called to do it, they do it with a different type of effort and love. It's just different. And you know what that type is? I call that type unconditional. That's what that type is. It's unconditional. I'm unconditionally giving my effort and love every single day, no matter what. And here's all it really means, y'all. It means that no matter the condition, no matter the circumstances, no matter what's going on, I'm going to give my very best to whom and what I'm called to. To whom and where I belong. So here's what I want us to understand about this. Is that being called and being chosen requires us to give our best to every person that's walking through these doors. Every single day. Every single day. Every moment that you have to give, it requires your best. Because here's what's going to happen. Here's what's taking place is that everybody in this room is about to embark on a journey. You're about to start a journey, right? And for some of y'all in here, this is the first time that you're starting this journey. For others, you've restarted this journey over and over again the last 5, the last 10, the last 15, the last 20 plus years. You've restarted this journey over and over again, so you understand what's waiting ahead on this journey. You understand. You know what's waiting ahead. You understand the mountains that you're about to have to climb. You understand the valley moments that are getting ready to take place. You understand. You understand that there are going to be days, if we're really real and honest, there are going to be days that you just don't feel like it. Yep, those days are coming. There are going to be days that you are going to walk through these doors and you are going to be dealing with your own personal circumstances and you're not going to even want to be in here. And we all know the days are coming where that one student is going to pull, tug, and snatch away the very last nerve that you have. The very last one. The very last one. And here's what we understand, is that we still understand on those days, on those given situations, through those circumstances, because you are all individually chosen and called to be here, it's still going to require you to give your very best. to give your unconditional love and effort. That's what it's going to require. That's what they're going to need from you. They're going to need you to make a decision every day that you walk through these doors. Because you were chosen to be here. You were chosen for this school. You were chosen for these students. You were chosen for this community. You were chosen for this year. You were chosen. You were called. That's how the greatness is oozed out. Because I make a decision to understand and to actually respect the fact that I was chosen and called. And I want y'all to hear something. If y'all don't hear anything else that I really heard today, I really want y'all to understand this. Because there's a serious responsibility on educators. Understanding that being chosen and being called, here's what it really requires. It requires us to have the ability and the willingness to give our very best unconditionally, even on our worst day. Even during our worst moment. Even at the worst time. It requires you. As a matter of fact, it needs you to give your unconditional love and effort every day. So listen, I'm so sorry. I understand that life happens, but I'm sorry you don't get to have a pity party because your day didn't get started right. Because the moment you walk through those doors, they need your best. I'm sorry that personally somebody let you down in your life sometime during that week, but the moment you walk through those doors, they need your very best. I know that during this course of this year, there are going to be moments that you're going to be praying for something. You're going to need something to take place in your life, and it's not really going to work out the way you want, but the moment you walk through those doors, they need your very best. They're going to need your very best. And I'm going to tell you, as parents, my wife and I, we're parents, we got a college student. I know I don't look like it, do I? Right? We got a college student. We got a high school student. We got an elementary student. Please don't ask us the time how it got separated. Just know it worked out that way, right? And a real quick, man, you know, my wife does love this energy. And she was like, man, maybe we move from Camp Creek and move him over here to Pharr. You know, I'm like, I don't know, but you know, as parents, and if you're a parent, you really understand this dynamic. Because here's the reality of being a parent. It's not too much different from being an educator, because as a parent, we don't get the option and the opportunity to say, I need a break. We don't get the opportunity. My kids need me to be there every single day. They need me at my best every single day. I don't get to go to my kids and say, hey guys, today was tough. I'm going to take off. I'm going to take a break today, guys. No, they need me at my best every day. When I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling worn down, when I'm feeling alone, when I'm feeling like I don't have anything else to give, I still got to give more. That's what they're going to require of me. And when you walk through these doors, it's going to require your very best every day. It's going to require your unconditional love every day, y'all. Every moment, y'all. No matter what, it's unconditional. The students that are going to be walking through these doors, that are going to be migrating through these hallways, that are going to be coming into your classrooms, understanding this, that your ability and your willingness to give your very best, hear this, your ability and your willingness to give your very best, it is directly tied to the expectations and the destiny of those that you're called to. Your ability and willingness is tied to their greatness. It's tied to their destiny. So when they walk through these doors, understanding whatever's going on outside of these doors, it can't directly affect them. Whatever you got going on at home, whatever you got going on in your life, it can't affect them. It can't be the deciding factor on the type of effort and love you're going to give that day. And I'm going to tell you the beauty and the dynamic that's in here that a lot of people don't have, right? Because a lot of people are called and chosen to a lot of different things, but they don't get to have this dynamic right here, because here's the special thing about this dynamic is that when you all understand, if you all collectively commit to this, commit to being good to great, commit to understanding that individually there's some greatness that resides inside of me, and then understanding that we were all called and chosen to be here. There might have been some place I might have wanted to be, but I was chosen and called to be here for the school year of 2023 to 2024. See, when you all collectively commit to that, when you see your coworker, when you see your teammate, when you see your co-laborer on their worst day, during their worst moment, you can say to them, hey, I know today don't feel good. Hey, I know it ain't working out the way you thought. Hey, I know it hurts. I know you hurt. I know you hurt. But you were chosen. You were called. You were meant to be here. And so they need your best. So I need you to walk into this classroom. I need you to get it together. And I need you to give your unconditional love and effort to these young people. And so your circumstance, your outside situation, it cannot dictate your effort and love. Your understanding and knowing that you were called and chosen to be here should be the deciding factor on what you give on a daily basis, regardless of what you got going on. I'm a real coach by nature. It ain't just Coach Lawrence. I'm a real coach by nature. I coach football at a high school. I'm not going to say the name, Parkview, down the street. But listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you, it can get to a point in the game. And my job not as coach is not just coach position, but to help my players in their worst moment understand that we still need you. I know you just messed up this coverage. I know you just missed this tackle, son, but guess what? You got another series. You got to get your butt back in this game. And they're going to get it every day. And it's the mentality collective that you all have to accept. If you understand anything about sports, the one thing I always tell my players is it only takes one guy not to do his job. All it takes for Pharr Elementary to not get the greatness out of it, it only takes one teacher to decide I'm not going to do my best. That's all it takes. All it takes is one. And so collectively, it must be something that you decide together. That we're going to walk out of here. We're going to leave this huddle right now. We're going to attack 2023 and 24 with our very best every day. And when you do that, here's what happens. Here's what happens when we do this. We understand that our ability and our willingness to decide to do this helps to produce and get the greatness out of every student that walks through these doors. They get to become everything they were born to be. They get the best out of themselves because you made a decision to give your best. Because here's what I understand as a parent, is the moment that I decide that I'm not going to give my best is the moment that I allow mediocrity to slip into my children's lives. The moment I decide to take a break because of a circumstance outside is the moment that average behavior slips into my kids' lives. The moment that y'all decide I'm not going to give my best today is the moment that average behavior slips into your classroom. It's the moment that mediocrity slips into their mindset, into their habits. And so they need your best. They need your best. They require your best. They deserve your best and the greatness that's within each and every one of you. Listen, I thank y'all for allowing me to be here. I truly do not take it lightly to be able to speak to educators, to be able to speak to people and understand the work that you do. Because I know that it's hard. It's very hard. Saying that it's hard is not even really encompassing all of it.